Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. Today I thought we'd have a bit of fun. You know, recently I just enjoy mixing different techniques up. So I can't even call this a specific technique because I'm mixing up a few different techniques. And sometimes I think that's the way we craft, isn't it? So the end design that I've come up with is this here, which I love. I just think it looks almost like an old newspaper or a page from a dictionary that I've that is aged, and oh, for me it's just lovely. And look at the back, got to have a bit of something on the back. So I'm hoping this is going to be the finished result. But while I was having a play with the technique or the mix of techniques, I used a couple of different stamps. So the main basis, the starting point, is going to be our watercolor tag, and I'm just going to get one to show you. So here we have and this is the large, the watercolor tag, and you get 5. So while I've got the packet out, I'll get one out, and then as always I've got so much to tell you. So this is what I'm going to start with. Now, for me, as you know, recently I've been really enjoying looking through my stamps, and when I wasn't sure how I was going to do this and what I was going to come up with, I first of all had to go with the silhouette thistle with this technique, and I quite liked it, but it wasn't what I was looking for. But I like to show you these because actually you might prefer this. You know, we're all different, and that's good. Then I had to go with the Lilium, and that's this one. And both of these, I went from adding the moon mask when it was finished and some white Posca, little bit of shading with my pastel pencil. And again, quite like them, but it wasn't what I was after. But I just think you know, you could use this as a tag. You could add some glitter, room for sentiment, a couple of our lovely sticker sentiments. So that's one thing you could do. But I really liked this one, so I'll show you what I did in the end. And when I was looking through my stash, I decided to have a look at my Floral Wreath stamp, and I wasn't sure if it would work with this, but I had to play. And it's so funny because I really didn't think it would work, and I found this, for me, was the best one. So it just shows you, have a play. Now today, my VersaFine Clair choice is Morning Mist, so we're coming in with a grey, and I'm going to stamp this first. And as I say, this is a bit of a mixture of a watercolour technique, bit of a mixture of a pen technique, bit of a mixture of all sorts. And I've just caught the end of my stamp here, so just want to dry it with my Inky Binky because I'm a bit of a tinker and it will go on my tag. And I'm just going to stamp it here. And as I say, this is in the grey. And then I can get rid of this now. And this is such a fun technique. Honestly, I just can't wait for you to have a go. It's fabulous. Now, I'm just wiping my acrylic block and my stamp because I just want to get that VersaFine Clair off my stamp. And a couple of things I need ready now. I need a water spritzer bottle. I've got my air puffer. I may use it, I may not, but I'm having it ready. I need a piece of kitchen roll. Good to have these at hand. And I'm going to use my Clean Colour pens. And I'm going to take the lids off them all. And for this one, I'm going to use the green, which is number 43, olive green. And then I'm going to add in number 50, which is the yellow. Oh, 23, which is scarlet red. Now, isn't it funny? I thought that was an orange. I'd have sworn that was going to be orange. And 24, which is wine red. Just shows you. Anyway, and I'm just going to start. And we have done this before when we did our lovely watercolour. And just use the lovely watery ink from the pens on our stamps. Now, it won't harm your stamps. You may get a bit of discoloration, but do you know what? If I can live with it, and you know how fussy I am, then I think it's okay. Then I'm going to come in with my red first, and I'm just going to colour in some of these little buds in the red. And it's lovely. This, you could batch card make these, and you don't have to be too precise with this. Then I'm going to add some with the orange. And it is obvious which ones you've actually painted, so don't worry, or you've coloured in. And then I'm going to come in with my yellow. Again, no particular order, no particular, I'm not overthinking it. Because again, I think sometimes we overthink it, and which colour shall we do? Right, and the fun bit now, I'm going to spritz my tag. So when we've done it before, we've spritzed our stamp. So for this one, I'm going to spritz my tag. Watercolor tag, so good couple of spritz. Eric's under my table, so he gets a bit of a shower. And I'm just going to put my head over, and I just want to place it more or less. It doesn't have to be precise. In fact, it looks a bit nice if it's not quite. So I always go to have it on, and it'll be not quite. And then just leave it a couple of seconds, and then lift it up. And what's lovely about this is you may like it. Oh, look, there's an Eric hair. You didn't see that. We'll edit that bit out. You may like it like this. And if you like it like this, obviously you stop there. And I do think that is lovely. In fact, I may just have another go quickly, just to show you the difference. So we'll leave that one like that. Let's get another one. I'm sure you won't mind just stopping with me for a couple more minutes, because I want to show you the difference. So give that a quick wipe. Ink it up again. So if you missed the first one, the good thing is, so it's your morning mist. Give it a stamp. Get rid of that. Quick wipe, just a damp cloth. A dry. And we'll get the colours again. So in with the green, and I'm just going down all the stems with the green. And then I'm going to come in with my red. Be quite funny, I wonder if I'll do the same ones with the red, or I wonder if I'll go different. So we've got some in red, and then some in orange. Now I have done a couple of these with blue tones. I mean, it is so lovely. You can really mix. And if you're making this for someone, you know, in particular, you can use the colour tones that they will like. Right, so as we were, watercolor tag. Give it a good spritz. In, head over, and stamp. So if you see the top of my head, I do apologise. And yes, I have brushed my hair this morning. Right, lift that up. Now this time I'm going to spritz it a little bit more, because I want those colours to just run a bit more. And this puffer comes in, if you want to direct look, just let's have a bit of colour up there, and let's take this down here. If I want to just dab it off a little, so you're in control, depending on how much colour you want where. Now I'm just going to add a little bit more green there, and I'm just going to spritz that a little and then puff it just so I can have a bit more green at the bottom. There we go. And then just with my heat tool, I'll just come in quickly, give them both a quick dry. Now I'm not going to dry them too much, because they're actually nicer if they're left to dry naturally. So this is the one we left, and it might be you like that amount of colour. But this one, for me personally, I prefer with the colours that are just running. And for me, that's the one I prefer. So I shall put them both over there. Now, where possible, let it dry naturally. I think it looks so much better. And you can carry on if you want to add more ink. So say I wanted this a little bit more orange, I could come in, add a little bit more colour, look. And I would do it to each one. And then spritz again, and you see how we get more colour. If you don't want to spritz, you could add a little bit more orange here, and then come in with your Lavinia brush and just gently wet it whereabouts you want it to move. And you can even give yourself little runs, look, and take the water up, and then it will follow that line. So if I wanted some orange, so you are in control. If you suddenly decided, oh, actually, I don't like that, again, just give it a pat and it will go paler. So you really are in control, and you could add as much colour, as little colour as you like. But I'm going to leave that now because I want to see how that dries, because I love all these areas here, look, and all these little bits. I think that's fabulous. So it's just nice. I just thought it would be so good for you to see the difference. So have a play with different colours, play with, oh, honestly, it's brilliant. So I've got one here, as we do, that I did about an hour ago, and this one's nice and dry. Now, again, you could leave it like this, but I just wanted to add a little bit extra. So what I went for was one of our lovely spirit signs. Now, again, there's 3 stamps in each, and I went for the spirit sign because this is for the month June the 12th to July the 12th. And I'm thinking, you know, June, July, this time of year. And I'm just going to come in. Now, as I've mentioned before, on the back of my sentiments, I always put an arrow. And it did make me laugh because one lady said she thought it was a mushroom. I can understand that, but it's just for me because I am liable when I'm talking, and I don't know about you, but I get carried away with my craft. I am liable to actually stamp that sentiment upside down. So first generation, top and bottom, and then I'm just going to do some first generation. Now you can go right across the whole stamp, the whole image. You can just one side. This one I think will actually go in that sort of shape. We'll give that a bit of a blot. A couple of them I've stamped down. I've made so many of these, I love them. I've stamped down one side of the tag. And then I just thought it needed a bit of colour around the edge. So I've come in with our lovely graphite. And then all I'm going to do, now it's quite pale this, I must admit. I did wonder whether to add some dark denim, but then, to be honest, I sort of had a word with myself and I was like, Jo, I think that's going to be too deep. And I was pleased with the end result. I'm glad I stuck with the grey. So I'm going all the way around. And I must admit, when I'm doing this, I always do this on the front and then I add the back. So if you're going to put this in your journal, I wouldn't decorate the back, especially if you're going to glue it flat. If you're going to pop it on a card. But if you're giving it to somebody as a tag, like I say, I would add my blending and my stamping on the back. Right, lovely. Now, I'm going to add some water splats, but what I tend to do with my fan brush, which is in my water pot here, is I tend to pick a little bit of this grey up. Look, we've got a little bit of ink there. So I might as well add the water splats and a bit of that grey ink. And if you want larger little areas, and I always think it makes it look a bit more oldie worldy. If you're trying to sort of vintage something up, look, stick your finger in. Now, I know I'm going to end up with hands like Tracy. So, Tracy, I'm afraid some of you's rubbing off on me. And when these dry, they're just those bigger areas, look. And I think that will really add to it. So, again, we'll wipe that up. This is fabulous for batch tag making, you know. And what we'll do, again, we'll give that a quick dry. Bring in my drying tool. But as I say, normally at home, when I'm doing these, I batch make them and I would let them dry naturally, just because I prefer the results. But I know you like to see, as much as possible, things in real time. So your last little finishing tricks for this one, some white Posca. And I'm just gonna add some areas here. And if you look, Tracy's drawn on the stamp. So on this area, I add a little bit more of the white. And there's actually some light areas. And you can actually fill those in, look. So here we'll add. And then last of all, some Posca splats. So we'll add a few of the light ones, and then this is the fun bit. This is where you pretend it's like a whipping action, and I just want to add some really big. And I must admit, if you could see my face, I'm sort of gritting my teeth. There we go. And that way, I've just got some larger look, and I love those. Now, that's a bit wet, and I've just got to wait for it to dry. And again, I shall do that. But what I want to show you is on my finished one, I've got some of our lovely craft yarns, and they come in different colours, so do check out the different options. And there's this gorgeous sort of grey with black and white. And that is what I've added to the top here. And I thought they just went beautifully. So there's lots of options with different stamps, but for me to think that started just as one of our normal watercolor tags, and then from that to that, and then the finished article. So I hope you have fun with this little play session, and I can't wait to see what you create. These are going to some special ladies that I know. So you have fun. As I say, please share with everybody what you create. I love it that we inspire and we help each other. And we've got lots of lovely new crafters in our Lavinia family. So let's give them all lots of encouragement and help each other along the way. You take care, and I'll see you again soon. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.